joining me. I'm Kristine Lopez with Homes by Kristine and co-founder of Elevate Vision. Today, I have County Supervisor candidate Tim McCarthy with me, and he is a different type of guest than I've had in the past. And the reason why I'm having him on here today is because just like if you were to go purchase a home, you hire an appraiser to find out what that home is worth. You hire an inspector to find out if there's any issues with the home. You want to be as informed as possible before buying that home. Now, the same serves with our public officers. These people are a huge investment in our community, and it is our right and to be informed voters. So whether you agree with Mr. McCarthy or not, hopefully this video serves as a reminder to go out and inform yourself. So with that being said, Tim, thank you so much for joining me.
Well, good morning, Kristine. I'm happy to be here on Friday.
Yeah, well, thank you. Thank God it's Friday, right?
That's right.
So tell me a little bit about yourself. We know that you're running for county supervisor. So if you can tell us a little bit about yourself and what that position entails.
Sure. I've been a Thousand Oaks resident for 25 years. I'm married. I have two grown children, 28 and 24. They are not in the house. They're out of the house. I own a security company, so we install cameras and alarm systems. Been doing that for 17 years. I've been in the public safety security field for 35 years. Around here, I'm known for being a member of Knights of Columbus, where I've donated over 22 years of service to help others, and also coached basketball from second grade through high school, and active member of the Boy Scouts for 8 years while my son was getting his Eagle Scout.
Wow. So you're really involved in our community here in Ventura County.
I would consider myself invested, right? I put a lot of time in, pick up trash every now and then, and and that's one of the things that keeps me here is the beautiful ruralness of our county, and the family environment, the number of parks and the school systems and stuff. So I think there's a lot of stuff we need to do to keep it back on track.
I agree, and I'm happy to have you here. So, county supervisor, you see a bunch of signs out there. What exactly does a county supervisor do?
Yeah, too much. They do too much. We got to knock out some of that stuff. So they're recently they came to be aware. People became aware of them because they were the ones that closed down the businesses and sued. They closed down churches and closed down businesses. They put everybody under lockdown, and they sued businesses as well. So that came from the Board of Supervisors of Ventura County. So that's how a lot of people got to figure out who the Board of Supervisors. What do they do? But there's a lot of stuff. They have election integrity responsibility. So you have the Secretary of State is kind of at the top level. And then when you go down into the local elections, the county has that responsibility. And election integrity is a big thing. It's still being talked about since 2020. It'll still be talked about, I'm sure, after June 7th and into November. But so election integrity is one of those. Public health, right? So where does the money go for the homeless? How do people that may be undocumented, how do they get support and services? The public health is if you have a business and you're a restaurant, the public health comes in and gives you an A, a B, a C. They kind of do your health inspections on there. But they also have airports. We've got Oxnard and Camarillo airports. They have two hospitals, Santa Paula and Ventura County Medical Center. They also do beach preservation. They take care of the police, right? The funding for the police comes through the Board of Supervisors. Fire prevention, that comes from the Board of Supervisors. Water, infrastructure, roads. It's
everything.
It is a very large group. They have a $2.7 billion budget. It's a huge budget. Mm-hmm. And while they were closing everybody down or in COVID the last 2 years, businesses shut down, but our government went from 8,000 employees to 10,000 employees.
Wow.
Yeah, 20% growth of averaging about $100,000 an employee. And here we know we have friends and neighbors that their businesses closed down. They never reopened.
Yeah. I have a lot of friends that had businesses that never reopened. So now you say Board of Supervisors. So are there more than one for people who aren't really informed about how the government works?
Yeah. There's five supervisors. And so like I'm running in District 2. So that covers Westlake Village, Thousand Oaks, Newbury Park, Oak Park, Lake Sherwood, Hidden Valley, Somas, Santa Rosa Valley, and then east and north Camarillo was just added there. So that's one district. Only the people that live in that district can vote for somebody in that district. But once you're elected, you now are one of 5 that covers the whole county.
Okay, I
So
see.
even though a decision might come up for Oxnard and say, hey, we want to, I don't know, extend the airport, all 5 get, each vote is equal 1. So we each get 1 vote, even though we're not from that district.
I see. So you're basically, it's 1 to represent me and everybody in our area. And then the 5 of you guys get together and vote.
That is correct.
Okay.
That's
and just really quickly, so I know a lot of people, like I got this in the mail, the county voter information guide, and all your information is in here along with all the other people. So if you guys got that in the mail, go look. Or if you didn't get it in the mail, go get one.
Right. That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. As the first time I've ever run, I'm not a politician. I'm a business owner. I just probably like you, Kristine, you just work hard. If you have kids, you just try to give them a better life than you had yourself. Go to church, and just try to be a good person in society. But what's going on in the last couple of years, especially in our county and the state, is just it's pathetic, to be honest with you. It's just really bad, where the citizens aren't being taken care of. It's our taxpayer money, and yet we don't have a say in anything.
Yeah, and it is frustrating, especially I think that became really prevalent during COVID. And that's why I think this election is so important, and getting to know people like you and other candidates to make sure you understand how you're going to represent me, how you're going to represent us.
Yeah. And our liberties and our freedom, to me, 2 or 3 years ago, you had one issue, right? You had election integrity, right? And then the normal stuff that a Republican and a Democrat would compete against, which is like term limits, low taxes, health insurance. That's the normal stuff, you would go against. But when they start forcing you to do things against your will, like getting vaccinations, right? That's a lot of people don't want it. Some do, that's fine. But the people that don't want it shouldn't have their careers ended or their jobs canceled because they don't want to put something into their body, right? So when you look at the candidates on that sheet of paper, I am the only candidate, the only one that stood up for the citizens, as well as myself, that said, no, the government should not tell me how to take care of myself medically or health-wise, and I don't want to wear a mask. And I haven't worn a mask in 18 months.
Yeah.
Okay. And if people want to force me to first of all, you can't force me to wear a mask. But if you want to require a mask at a restaurant to eat, I'll just go somewhere else.
Well, that's your right as a citizen also to go patronize where you want to patronize.
That's right. So I think now, you have this breadth of issues that are out there. Homelessness is very bad. The fear of crime is very bad, right? We see it all over the place with Los Angeles County letting people, revolving door, one crime after the other. And it's happening all over California with Newsom letting out 95,000, criminals early. So there's a lot of trends that are just negative. And I think this election, and that's one of the reasons why I'm running, is the career politicians aren't taking care of us at the middle class, lower class, just the class of hardworking people that we just don't have a voice, and we need a voice on the inside to get some of these things back to what we expect them to be.
It's one of the things I really respect about you is the fact that you are in the community and you are a business person just like me and just like a lot of my colleagues. But I did have a question because you raised the issue of homelessness. So as I know, a lot of myself and many other people coming down the 23, we noticed over on one of the sides, there's huge homeless encampment.
Yeah.
And I know from the freeway, it's a lot smaller than it actually is. So what is something as a county supervisor can you do about that? Or do you plan on implementing?
Yeah, that guy's got a big camp going on over there. I know it because I pass by it every day because I live over there. I pass by it every morning on the way to to work, and it's terrible. You know, I think right now there's probably 10 or 12 encampments inside there.
Yeah, it's
And
pretty bad, and it's dirty, and I
yeah,
see Public Works over there cleaning things out, and so I
yeah,
know as a citizen, like, how's that gonna get taken care of? Because there are people in that area where the crime has increased, because you were talking about crime, and I believe it's a direct, result of the homelessness. But then I'm also a real estate agent, and I understand that people are getting priced out of homes in our area.
yeah. It's really it's a lot of negative stuff, Kristine. So there's some laws that Governor Newsom in the legislation has put in that limits what cities and counties can do, right? So really, there's some county right there, but there's also city responsibility. One of the reasons why you see a lot of homeless encampments along the freeways is because that's state property.
Oh,
Right? So
interesting.
right on the edges there, it's state property. If you drive out to LA, so for my company, the security company, we've worked with Hope of the Valley Rescue Mission up in Los Angeles, and they build these tiny homes, right? These little sheds around, and the amount of sheds you have or homes allows you to make a circle around there, and anybody within that circle that's homeless, you can then clear out the encampment because you've offered them a place to stay. So there's a law that says you can't just kick them out unless you can give them an option for a place to stay. And once you provide that option, then you can clear it out there. So that's one of the reasons why state legislature is so important, and why we want to get people like Lori Mills and Cole Brocado into get rid of the supermajority that's going on there. But the other thing that the county does is they give away a lot of stuff. So you have free room, free board, free medicine, free healthcare, right? So if you're in LA and you're not, you're one of 60,000, why not come out to Ventura County where it's nicer, there's fewer homeless, but you're going to get better services. So I think what we have to do, and it's just like a lot of stuff with the county, there's too much going into these places from money. And if you take some of that money away, then some of those would disappear. I also think the government should get out of the business of doing this, right? I think anything the government, for the most part, really touches kind of breaks it. So there are communities out there like Many Mansions, Catholic Charities, Rain Transitional Housing, which is up in Camarillo off of Lewis Road, Hope of the Valley Rescue Missions. And there's a number of there's probably a bunch of them out there that we're not even aware of yet. But I think the county should partner with them and provide grants to those people, because they have the wraparound services that the homeless need to get out of the trouble they're in. A lot of them have drug addictions and alcohol addiction, right? So giving them a room and giving them free food,
You're not
perfect.
treating the problem.
You're not treating the problem. It's not going to go away. So, these private enterprises and these help communities, they have mental health doctors. They have prescriptions that they can wean people off if they're on drug addictions. They have job placement. They have transportation to get them from point A to point B. They can loan them a phone during the day for interviews. You kind of got to step them up. Now,
Right.
20% of the people that are homeless, they don't want any help, right? They just want to live on the street for whatever reason. But there's 80% that probably do want to get help. And there are some that we should help right away. When you have women and children, let's just say you're married and you got a couple kids, and the breadwinner dies, and you don't have a job, but you're in a house that pays, I don't know, $1,500 to $2,000 a month in mortgages. How does that person going to afford to live there? Well, odds are they're not going to, right? So we got to get them before they fall off the cliff.
I agree. And, I love the point that you made about partnering with those private enterprises, because I was on the board with Catholic Charities Ventura County for several years. And I'm not there anymore, but we're all severely underfunded. And if they were better funded, these people are experts, or not necessarily experts, but they have access to a lot more experts than maybe the county or the city does. and they can directly help those people. And it's not just people like you were saying, the spouse dies and how do you afford it? During COVID, we saw a lot of divorces happen as well. And it's
Right.
the same thing, and the one spouse can't afford it anymore. So having these many mansions, Catholic charities, and these local charities, if we can somehow fund them, like you're saying, would absolutely help.
Yeah, and the other community which is overlooked is the special needs community, right?
Mm.
So, everybody talks about diversity, equity, inclusion. Okay, the diversity and equity part, that's covered under equality. I got everybody's equal. I don't care what color you are. I don't care where you stand, how tall, how short, woman, man. I don't really care. If your skills allow you to get a job and you're qualified, then may the best person win. That's the way I feel about that. But the I part, the inclusive part, the only part of the I that I really like is I think we underserve the special needs community. And I'll give you this example. I know somebody, I'm not going to mention her name, but I got to know her very well when I was with the Knights of Columbus. Knights of Columbus was started in 1888 to take care of women and children when the man died. So the whole charity is based on taking care of women and children. So when I became the Grand Knight, big tough Grand Poobah, I would raise money for places that took care of women and children. So one of them was called Center for Special Needs, and this woman did it by herself, right? She started it. She has a child, high functioning child with autism. But she was sort of alone. She had to raise her own money. And then she started the programs to teach school administrators, how do you handle somebody with special needs? Because it's different, right? You can't touch them. You can't scream at them. It depends on the child, but there's different variables that come into play. And then she took it to the police officer. Listen, if you see a parent on the side struggling with a kid, it doesn't mean they're abusing them. It means they may be just trying to control them in a way that makes sense for the family. So she went through all this, but at the end of the day, she couldn't afford to live, right? She's doing stuff she had all these other families as part of it. And with my company, Oak Security, we would give our, like when it was time to do Christmas cards, instead of us doing it, we would give them to the special needs community and pay them $15 an hour because one kid's good on spreadsheets, another one's good at writing, another one's good at envelopes and stamping. And then bring them into the community. This part of the same thing is we hired an autistic child for our office to see how that would go. We needed drawings done. I said, hey, give me somebody with drawings. The problem was I had to manage the kid. Actually as a young adult, 22, 23, but I had to manage them, but I'm trying to manage a business. I can't manage that. So the county, in my perception, the county should have a program that's led for special needs that has training program. It's kind of like a temp agency, but you have it over here for the special needs. And the kids each have different skills, and all these companies can all take one, hire two, but there's a rotation so that if the person that you hire needs a break, there's a substitute that can come in that's ready for training. And then that money should go to people that started this, right? So she ended up closing it down. So all those families that she supported don't have that anymore, right? Yeah. And it's only because that nobody took care of her when we needed to. And that's the kind of stuff I think the county should step back and say, who's doing the right things in our county? Who are the good people? And what are they doing? And what's the benefit? And that's the person we should back. And to
your point, that kind of goes into the homeless issue, because a lot of these people that have, whatever you want to call them, mental issues, or they're autistic or whatever, they end up not being trained because they're always overlooked in the public school system, or families, like you're saying, can't afford it. And when they're set off to be adults, they're out on the street now and they're doing drugs and they're homeless. And so I think when you're kind of nipping it right here at the beginning, getting them that help, I think it trickles down and it will help in the long run as well.
Yeah, my goal is, and I don't know how these other board of supervisors would vote and stuff like that, but my goal is to set up that, at least in my district, and bring this person back in and go, listen, you were doing God's work, right? You're doing it for other people. Those are the people that I want to lift up and help them as much as possible. So I believe there's a way that we could do stuff within our own district. And if other people see that it's working well, then they would want to expand. And I think that's the way that we start improving, is we start in our backyard, do really good things. Other people are going to see what you're doing, and then they start to implement that as well. And I'm not saying I have all the answers, but I know there's a lot of smart people. There's much more smarter people than me, Kristine. I'm just the tip of the spear, and I have an open door, and I have a servant's heart. I care about people, and I just want us all have a good time, make a little money, have some fun, and leave the world in a better place. I mean, what's wrong with that?
I agree. But it takes people like you. It takes one person to make an impact. And if somebody doesn't start, then nobody will start. And it doesn't matter if they believe what you believe or believe what somebody else believes. You have to start somewhere, and then it will trickle down. And hopefully people will see the good that you're doing, or if they think it's bad, whatever they think. Yeah. So I respect the fact that you're here, you have a vision, and that you're trying to represent the people as a business person, as opposed to a career politician, which I have to say, that's the one thing I really, really love.
Yeah. I've had enough with the career politicians. You're probably like me, Kristine, like so many people, is we trusted them to do their job that we think that they should do.
Yeah.
Right. And they took advantage of that. And it's not this, the school system is atrocious, right? The Board of Supervisors doesn't have much to do with the schools, very little bit. But the schools are in very bad shape. Our economy in Ventura County is in very bad shape. It's going to get worse, right? Homelessness is going to get worse because the evictions haven't started yet.
Yeah.
Right. Because once those evictions and those landlords are allowed to kick them out, where are they going? What are they going to do? Hopefully a lot of them are going to be on the streets. That's going to increase crime. So I believe we should invest more money in our police. We need more cars out there. We need more feet on the street. They need to be back in schools where the young people growing up get familiar with the police, so that all this negative media attention that's put on them, they can say, no, I met this officer. I met these 5 officers. Those are all nice people. So I don't believe this. And that's what we just have to create the environment where, I don't know, love wins. I know it sounds kind of corny, but
no, yes, it does sound corny, but you're right. And I will say, because I'm the PTSA president at Kalina Middle School as well. And I do give props to our police department, because they do make a presence, and they'll be there when the kids are crossing the street. They wave at the kids, they talk to the cross guards. And I think they're doing a really good job there, and to not be these scary, like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna get pulled over, or, they're community servants as well. They're not just here to get everybody in trouble and bust you. So, for you guys, just police officers are not all bad. There are quite a few amazing ones, and we have a pretty amazing police force, at least from what I've seen personally in our school community, and I appreciate them. So.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, with the security company, when there's crimes and we have cameras and stuff around there, I talk to them all the time. I give them video footage, and everybody I've met has been very nice. They're happy. They're polite. They appreciate I think it's just sometimes the media just takes one bad apple and just blows out of proportion. And every industry, real estate industry's got a bad apple. Security every industry has a bad apple.
It doesn't matter. One person will ruin it for everybody, but that doesn't make it the truth.
Yeah. But I agree with you that we shouldn't just be around arresting people. Let's get everybody at the beginning and get them talking and thinking the right way to live. And then we don't have to have so much trouble later on down the line.
I agree. So, Tim, I know we're running out of time, but how can people learn more about you personally? Website, email?
Yes. My website is McCarthy, like the sign, McCarthy and then just put a VC. So McCarthy for VC for Ventura County, McCarthy for VC Supervisor.com.
Great.
And the election is June 7th.
In the bio as well.
Okay. And the election is June 7th. So ballots are going to start arriving on Monday.
Okay.
Here. And then everybody's got 30 days to figure out how to get them in. But June 7th.
For these guys, you need to check. This will give you guys information. So, and that'll come before your ballots.
Yeah. So if your audience likes a conservative family, community leader that likes to take care of our backyard and supports police, military, and all those good things we talked about, then I would appreciate their vote on June 7th.
Well, thank you, Tim. And even for those who don't vote in the conservative way, which is absolutely okay, like I said, hopefully this video serves as a reminder to go inform yourself so you can make an informed decision on June 7th. So Tim, thank you so much for joining me today. And I can't wait to vote on June 7th. I hope you have a good day.
Well, thank you, Kristine. Have a good day yourself.
Thank you. Bye. Hi and welcome. I'm Kristine.